It's kind of disappointing, you know. It's kind of disappointing when that happens because I'd like to be able to, you know, go in there and do some damage, try to get some experience. Well, try to get some experience. Got shot in the face. Hello and welcome back to our Duelist adventures, and we have leveled up our steward skill once more. We're now at 77, so we have the option to now build siege engines 20% faster, and for our workshops to also produce 20% more goods, which is fantastic. Otherwise, we also have stiff upper lip here, which is going to reduce our food consumption while in an army, which is what we're currently doing, so this would be kind of good. But the other portion of the perk is not exactly great, because that requires you to be a governor. And obviously I'm not a governor right now, so we're going to be taking the 20% faster siege engines being built, and then we're going to move on. I'm halfway to level 22, which is, I suppose, decent. I wouldn't say it's fantastic or anything. Seems like we're very much slower now when it comes to leveling up, unfortunately. Also, scouting skill is just about to get to 200, and what do we have to select here? Oh, wow, okay. This is pretty, well, pretty lackluster in my opinion. For a 200 skill perk, the options are not very encouraging. Trade penalty within villages of your faction decreased by 10%. Obviously, this is fantastic for a trader, but in general, it's not really going to work so well for me. And then the other one is trade penalty within cities of your faction decreased by 5%, and also hideout detection range is increased by 30%. The other one obviously also had a secondary, which was villages parties are 10% larger. Yeah. That, I believe that's a governor thing as well, which is not really going to help me. No, that is not going to help me one bit. So either one of those doesn't really matter what I take, unfortunately. We still have a learning rate of 1.23 for scouting, so it will get to 200 relatively soon. Anyway, this is the current situation that we have on our hands here. I'm going to be attacking Ialis's army in just a second. Hopefully he's not going to get too close to someone else and then get reinforcements. That would be pretty terrible. But anyway, we have encountered him. And now, here you go. This is someone new. Yes, this is someone new. Duane the Falcon. I found him in a nearby town. He has decent leadership skill. He has good riding skill. He's got good one-handed weapon proficiency. And he also has good riding. Did I say good riding skill? Well, whatever. But he has thrown weapon proficiency as well, and I've given him a whole bunch of really good gear and everything, and he is perfectly outfitted in the best possible stuff. So if he does die, he cannot blame his gear. That's all I can say. He cannot blame his gear for any way, because if I actually just show you real quick, you can see here. Can I not? Are you serious? I can't go to... Oh yeah. Of course. My bad. He's not in my party anymore, so obviously I can't look at him, but you can kind of see that he's wearing decent stuff. He is wearing a helmet. He just takes off his helmet in this particular window here, so obviously you can't see. But his stats, as you can see down at the bottom here, are pretty decent in my opinion. He's got good tactics skill too, so I'm pretty happy with that. Anyway, we're going to be just straight up attacking this army here in manual combat. Not going to do an auto-resolve, and oh dear. We've spawned on my favorite of maps. This is great. I was hoping for a Dunes map, if at all possible, but we are in this sort of territory where valleys and this kind of map set do get chosen just that little bit more often, so I'm not a big fan of it, but we're going to try and make the best of it. And obviously, as someone actually did mention in the comments a while ago, a couple of episodes ago, there are numerous problems with this particular map. Units getting stuck in the environment, units falling down from the cliffside if their army is too large, and then, them having them all basically just die from the fall damage. and so on. So there's a number of different reasons why this map is not exactly great, but there are some good ones as well. This one is very nice for the amount of strategical options it gives you. It may not seem like it gives you a huge amount, because obviously at the moment you can see that we're kind of in a situation where, wow, that was a nice hit. Oh, and then I got shot. Ouch. Okay, don't get killed, don't get killed, don't get killed. Oh no, that would be bad. That would be super, super bad. Okay, I'm just going to tell my infantry to charge in. This is really bad, actually. I took a lot of damage from that initial strike. I believe that was a headshot. So that is not very nice. Not very nice at all. Oh yeah, by the way, there was a little bit of division in regards to my suggestion about the whole dodge mechanic and stuff like that. And yes, okay, I understand. Yeah, you can definitely dodge using WASD, and you can move around and try to, you know, get yourself dodging melee attacks reasonably easily. You know, you've seen that from me in prior episodes, where I've been able to, you know, quote-unquote dodge things, you know, quite well. I feel like I've done decently in utilizing my speed to my advantage. However, the main thing that I actually wanted to bring to your attention about the whole dodge thing is being able to dodge arrows and stuff like that, because obviously the two-handed variant of this build, that does have a perk that can deflect arrows dependent on if you're blocking with a two-handed sword or a two-handed weapon of some kind. Obviously, I would assume a sword is probably going to be the best option for that, because let's face it, it's going to be extremely difficult to block with a wooden handle or something like that of an axe, for example. But anyway, the point is, I was mainly referring to ranged attacks, because as you could see right there, in that particular situation, I can't really do much. And as I said before, I'm not actually talking about a full dodge here or a full negation of damage. I'm literally just thinking about trying to improve survivability to units that are not a two-handed build, like for example mine right now. Obviously this is very much preliminary, and I don't expect to be... Well, that was kind of unfortunate, wasn't it? That was actually very unfortunate. Oh well, never mind. We are going to be victorious, I believe. I think my units are significantly better than the opponent. But I was actually wanting to survive just a little bit more. But oh well, never mind. I guess that gives me an opportunity to finish my thought. Anyway, the point is, for people that are not two-handed, and for people that may not have a shield, or may have a shield and may just want to have that little bit of extra survivability, having that dodge chance could have a pretty decent effect. Maybe even just a little bit of damage absorb, like ignore pain or something like that, because being able to absorb the damage of an attack like that, like as you just saw, I got shot in the face, and now could I do anything about that? Well, yeah, I could stay back in my own lines, and I could just basically hide away there. You know, that is a valid option and a valid strategy. But is it fun? I don't know. Is it really fun? I mean, that's the point. Not really, you know? So that's my main goal when I suggest these kinds of things. It's not to imbalance the game and overall breaking the experience. It is literally just for fun mechanics to be implemented so that the game can just be that much more enjoyable, because no one wants to enter a battle and get shot in the face, you know, however many times over, and then die in under 2 seconds. You know, that's the thing that I'm trying to see if there's any kind of remedy for that. That was my main thought when I suggested that. And I'm not even talking about a 50% chance or a 75% chance or anything like that. Just a very small chance, 10, 15, 20% chance. That, in general, when you're getting shot by, I don't know, 10 horse archers, how much is that really going to save you? Probably not that much, but it may save you just enough to get a little bit more enjoyment out of that particular battle. That's all I'm talking about. Anyway, that is indeed the end of the fight, and, really wish I'd survived a little bit longer, to be honest, but oh well, never mind. I mean, that generally tends to happen when you encounter a new unit. I don't know whether you noticed which unit that actually was, but it was a desert Coltsman or something like that. I'm actually not sure. Let me just take a quick look through their Yes, this guy, Desert High Coltsman, that was the one that took me down, and he had very good one-handed weapon proficiency. He took us out very fast, so I'm pretty impressed by that, actually. I'm pretty impressed, but it is one of the new units that was added by the Calradia at War Mod, and, well, we know how good most of those units tend to be. So, there's that. Yes, there's that. Okay, so I'm just going to take a couple of units into my prisoner's hold here. Now, bear in mind that I have lost a little bit of army size because I had to give a number of units to our new member. And he's obviously running around with those now. I gave him a bunch of legionnaires and other relatively high-tier units, as well as some of the low-tier ones as well, so that he could potentially level some of those up over time, and so on. So hopefully that's going to work quite nicely for us, and we're just going to move on. We are over the prisoner limit, but hopefully by the time we have restored our forces just a little bit, they may have increased the capacity just a slight amount, so that we should be alright to continue onward with that. Anyway, I'm going to take all the loot, thank you very much, and then we'll continue marauding around the Azerai territory. And let's just have a look-see here, because I assume that maybe... I was hopeful that maybe the small amount of experience that we gained afterwards would actually give us the ability to try and recruit some more people. But actually, you know what? Does it actually matter? I'm thinking it might not even matter to have any kind of incapacitate... Oh! The Desert Cult was destroyed? Right, okay, apparently the Desert Cult was destroyed. Okay, well, you know what? Just because I am interested, I'd like to see what kind of stats this guy has. Oh, okay. This is a tier 6 unit. Oh, actually a tier 5 unit. And he has 240 one-handed weapon proficiency. Well, that's the main reason why he was able to murder me so incredibly easily. He has 82 swing speed on his scimitar. Let me actually just have a look. I have 215, so I'm not that far behind him. Not that far behind him. And what is the swing speed on my weapon? 86. Technically, I should have beaten him off the bat there, but I think... maybe he started his swing just a fraction of a second a little bit earlier than I did, and as a result he was able to get the damage out just that little bit quicker than we were, which is unfortunate. Very unfortunate indeed. But that's just how it goes, you know? That's just how it goes. Now the Desert Cult is no more, and so we will no longer see any of those units, unfortunately. Oh, it seems like we are now declaring war... Oh. Okay. I'm not entirely sure why they're doing that. They're declaring war on the Desert Cult, which is amusing because the the number in that army was actually kind of hilarious at the same time as that actually happening. You know, Desert Cult and, you know, the number. It's a pretty hilarious coincidence. Anyway, we're going to now... yeah, I'd like to take Hubyar, as I said in the previous episode. I think taking that would be super, super fun to do. But as it stands right now, Unkid's army is right here, and we certainly don't want to be sticking around. Oh, hello there. Oh, yes. Aha. Is this guy actually faster than him? I think he is. Get him. I'll back you up, sir. Get him. It seems like he's actually faster than us. Yeah, he's actually faster. For some reason, it seemed like he wasn't faster. Oh, hello. This is a massive battle. This is really, really nice. Oh, okay, we have... Oh, right, okay. Well, we're up against this guy first, and then we'll go and help out with the larger battle in just a second. So we'll see what happens with that. Oh no, another one of these. This map. Ah, terrible, terrible. I really don't like it. Really don't like it. I mean, that's the thing. I usually end up dying in absolutely embarrassing ways on this map. And obviously that is not something different to those of you that have been on the channel for a while. You know, I do tend to die in relatively embarrassing situations often. But I've been attempting to try and reduce those kinds of situations and the chances of that actually happening, because let's face it, sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's pathetic, and I would prefer if they were funny more often than pathetic, of course. That's what I've been trying to do, but anyway, Let's see if we can maybe eliminate these guys before they can deal any damage. Oh, yeah, there we go. That was nice. Alright, so otherwise... Oh, they've... Oh, that's interesting. Okay. They seem to be, okay. Walking over the mountainous area there. It would have been better for them to just stand on it, to be honest. Okay. Well, because we outnumber them so dramatically, I might as well just tell them to charge in. Bear in mind that I'm not commanding every single unit on the battlefield right now, even though I am the leader of the army. That's kind of a bit strange. But let me just... Yes, let me just deal 46 damage to myself. That sounds like a good plan to me, doesn't it? Yep, sounds like a absolutely fantastic idea. You know why I did that, by the way? That was completely on purpose, because I have to give them some kind of advantage, because Bruce is just so powerful that he would be able to destroy the universe if he was at full HP right now. I'm obviously joking. Oh dear. Yeah, okay, let's try not to die, shall we? This would be extremely embarrassing if we died in this battle. Obviously, if I get shot in the face, then there's not much I can do about it, but, you know, we'll see. Oh, well, did I get shot in the face? Yes. Actually, not in the face. I didn't get shot in the face, but I got shot in the arm by that guy, right there. By that guy. Alright, well... Was it funny? A little bit on the fence about that, but no, I don't think so. Don't know why that happens. That always happens to me, you know. That absolutely always happens to me. When I'm like, please don't shoot me in the face. Boom, get shot in the face. All right. Well, we're just gonna let that guy go because he's gonna give us a decent amount of charm skill right there, and it's gonna get us a nice big chunk next to the to the next level. So I'm pretty happy with that. Anyway, we're gonna be taking some tier 4 units here potentially, so that we can maybe get those guys to join us eventually. And what else do we have going on here? Not much, actually, not much. We do have some good armaments to potentially sell off, and I think this is going to be a pretty easy victory for us right here. I think most of our forces should be fine. Now, bear in mind, because I've taken so much damage, I can't actually go in there until I've waited until I'm at 20% or so. Now I can go in, but I am very low in HP, which is really not very good. Iakis has been besieged as well by the other army, so we're going to need to go over there and maybe do a siege defense. Obviously, me being low in HP does not help matters in that way. Do I have command of the entire party? No. I don't have command of the entire army, so this is going to be a little bit strange, because I have no idea what the AI is going to do, you know. Because he could, they could decide to just charge straight on in, or they could decide to hold back, or skirmish, or something or other, and we'll see what happens. Now, I'm going to try to be a little bit more cautious in this particular battle, and we'll see how that goes, because I tried that in one of the more recent previous episodes, and it didn't really help that much, because the enemy AI, if you know anything about Warband AI, it seems like they may have carried over the AI from that, at least that particular facet of it, where the enemy tends to focus the player character. It tends to focus the player character quite often over other units in the vicinity. And I believe that's obviously on purpose to try to, try to get the player character dead, because otherwise you're just going to run around and you're going to do a lot of damage. You know, that's going to be pretty significant, the amount of damage you can do. Anyway, we're just going to tell our infantry and our archers to charge in. Bear in mind that archers charging does not mean that they're going to go into melee. It just means that they're going to get into effective range for their prospective weapons. And it seems like things are going not too badly so far. As you can see from the combat strength, I haven't really had too many difficulties with our forces right now. I obviously have not really taken too many steps forward here either, which is it's kind of disappointing, you know. It's kind of disappointing when that happens, because I'd like to be able to, go in there and do some damage, try to get some experience. Well, try to get some experience. Got shot in the face. even if I hadn't been at 20%, 73 damage would have taken 73%, because obviously I have 100 HP, it would have taken 73% of my HP just from that. So even if I was at 50% or 60% or even 70%, I would have been dead. So there's that. There is that. I personally feel, you know what? I personally feel like attributes and spending points into attributes should actually make a difference in how much HP a particular character has. Because think about it like this. I'm speccing into endurance, right? Which is the athletic skill, the riding skill, and the smithing skill, I believe. And if I'm speccing into endurance, surely that means that I'm improving my HP in some way, or my damage resistance in some way. But that is actually not what happens. So we're still at the base value of 100 HP, and it is very easy for you to die, as is witnessed here. Even if I wasn't at 20% HP, I would still have died very simply indeed, just because a shot to the face is going to deal so much damage. Anyway, there you go. That is, yeah, not exactly what I wanted to do there, but oh well, never mind. I mean, we're getting some good experience for our units, which is actually kind of good, but obviously that's pretty much it, which is kind of unfortunate. Anyway, I'm going to try and swap out a couple of militia here, because I don't really care too much about militia units, because they don't really level up that far. So I'm going to be taking some of the tier 4 units that I see here to try and replace them. And there we go. Okay, I only have one space, so I'm just going to move on with that. Ooh! I love the Executioner's Axe. I think the Executioner's Axe is a super fun weapon to use. Unfortunately, I won't be able to use it in this series because it is indeed a two-handed. So, I'd recommend checking out the Botanian Smith series. There's a playlist in the description down below if you want to check that out. That is where I use two-handed weapons for the most part. Isn't it? Yeah, I think so. I've made so many series now, I kind of get a little bit mixed up sometimes. But yes, I believe it is that one. And Torvasis has died? Are you serious, sir? Yes, indeed he is. Anyway, Iakis has come under siege, so we will be heading on over there as soon as possible. We're going to be offloading a bunch of prisoners at this castle here because, well, let's face it, we have a number of other people in my army, and it's not just me, so I do need to take note of what they're doing as well, and they're taking a whole bunch of prisoners and everything, so we've got to be very, very careful about that. Anyway, we do have 200 in scouting now. As I said before, these perks are not very good, so I'm probably just going to be taking Rumor Network, because that does allow me to detect hideouts a little bit easier. Doesn't really matter either way in my opinion, but there you go, we'll just take that one. And this guy is definitely going to be able to take this without too many difficulties. But what I'm going to do is... Oh, he's leaving. Oh. What? Wait a minute. Ah. Oh. Okay. Do you see what happened there? Did you see what happened? Yeah, if you didn't see what happened, this clan joined the Azurai, and they defected. And they are the owner of Iakis, which is hilarious, actually. Wow. I'm very surprised. The timing of that particular defection could not have been better for them. Absolutely insane. Anyway, there's a pretty significant amount of defenders in Jamia Castle right now, so I'm thinking we should be fine to just sort of... I was going to say, when we were at Iakis, actually, I was going to say that we're just going to kind of stick around here, see what happens, because you never know what kinds of Empire vassals are going to turn up, and you also never know whether the attacking army is going to sustain heavy damage, heavy casualties in their action at the moment, and then we'll be able to pounce and hopefully eliminate them. I actually thought that we'd done some pretty significant damage to the Azurai, but they seem to have picked themselves up and are on the warpath in many different ways. You know, getting people to join them and besieging all kinds of stuff. But yeah, I think we should be fine. Oh, there we go. Oh, besieging Razzie? Oh, why are they going over there now? Okay. Okay. This is a very strange turn of events. I'm not entirely sure why they're deciding to run back and forth here. They seem to now be attempting to make up your mind, sir. Make up your mind, Mr. Unkid. He's having all kinds of weird things happen to him, apparently. Okay, well, let's just continue to do this. I'm just going to go over here and pick up some recruits, because obviously if I go to these villages, then my guys are going to pick up recruits automatically, and seems like they are now running away. Bear in mind that the more time that we can waste of our opponent, the better, because that all that means is that these guys are going to disband, they're going to lose food, they're going to lose cohesion, and hopefully at that point we will be able to take them down and hopefully eliminate them. Now, I'm not... Okay, now they're going over to the castle again. Interesting. Okay, so there's a huge amount of vassals surrounding them now. I'm pretty sure we should be able to take them on. I think we have a pretty decent number. Yeah. As you can see, they also think the same thing. And I'm going to be heading in there in just a second. But we're going to be fighting in that valley again, aren't we? I'm not a big fan of that one. Oh well, never mind. Let's just level up a little bit here. And get a couple of people converted. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit of an experiment. Alright, so when we go into this fight, we have over 1,000 troops in this battle, which is actually fantastic. But I'm going to do a little bit of an experiment. So this is what I'll do. I'm going to stick with the main body of units. And then I'm going to see how fast I end up dying. And I'm gonna attack, obviously. I'm gonna attack whenever I get the opportunity to do so. However, I'm going to be very cautious. I'm going to try and reduce as much damage taken as possible, and we'll see what happens, because if I again get shot in the face from wherever, then we'll just put it down to the fact that the AI tends to focus the player character more often than the AI allies, and that's it. But if I don't, then it will just be down to my own stupidity in previous engagements. So we'll see what happens, because I personally have tried this before in off-screen time as well as on-screen, and it has always resulted in my demise in many different ways, because as you see here, the AI seems to be charging in straight away to my location, obviously a number of other locations too, so that is not conclusive just yet, but we'll see. You know, I'm kind of interested. Oh, nice. Oh, yes, nice. Okay, that is exactly what I wanted to do. Very good. Alright, yeah, if we can just eliminate their cavalry, that's all we really want to do for the most part, because eliminating their cavalry initially is going to make it so much easier for us to deal with them, especially considering we have decent archers. Alright, so what's actually going on now? Where are you running? Are they seriously running after... Okay, apparently they're running after the enemy's cavalry, who are... How many in number? 6? Yes, they have 6 over here. That is... That is actually redundant and actually ludicrous. It's ridiculous. I don't know why they're doing this. Well, maybe I can just get him. Okay, well, his horse is gone at least. I have no idea where he is. I think he got clobbered. Right, okay, so my units are out the front here, and the main body of units are at the back, just running after some randoms. And, it seems like we do have a couple of people over here. Most of my units actually do have access to ranged weapons in the form of thrown. So, you know, javelins and stuff like that. So they should be able to do some pretty decent damage. Okay, that guy's dead. Nothing to worry about there. And where are the main... Oh, there they are. They're all the way over there. Okay, this is kind of strange. Not sure why the AI would do this, to be honest. They're sending in their cavalry by themselves. And that's it. That was my fault. Getting hit right there. Alright. Let's try moving forward. Okay, now, obviously I'm not with the main body of units right here, which is obvious, but I can't really wait around. That's the point. I can't really wait around for our people to decide that it would be a good idea to move forward, as you can see right here. I mean, they're moving their archers, but they're not moving... What? Oh, the AI is super funny sometimes. They literally are moving their archers ahead of their infantry by such a significant margin. Oh, now they're going over there onto the cliff. Right, onto the mountainous area. Okay, sure. Let's move over there then with them. Okay, the enemy is also coming now down into the valley. Nice, take him down, thank you. Okay, we got to be careful here. I'm trying to be careful, you know. I'm trying to take as little damage as I possibly can without being someone that is just going to stand at the very back of the battlefield and not do anything, you know, because I could very easily do that. That's what I've said multiple times in the Iron Man challenge as well, because it's not really an Iron Man challenge if you're just going to stand at the back and not really put yourself in danger, you know what I mean? So, yeah, that's the kind of thing we've got to think about as well, because it's very easy to stay alive if you don't put yourself in any kind of jeopardy whatsoever. But anyway, aha, hello there. Number of units have been spotted, and this is an absolute mess. I really wish I had command of all the units, because I would have easily moved onto the high ground before these guys actually got there, and then it would have been very, very simple for us to take them down. But look at these archers. Look at these archers right now. They're eliminating all my units. You see that? They're literally running when we have the advantage in terms of numbers. Okay. Why do I not have control of this army? This is terrible. This is absolutely terrible. Okay. Yeah, I've just basically lost most of my units right now. Because even though I've told my units to hold position, look at this. My infantry is down there by themselves. Look at that. That's my infantry down there, and they are down there alone because the allied forces are running away. This is absolutely ridiculous. I've never seen something so egregiously stupid from the AI. Not in recent memory, at least. A long time ago, yeah, sure, maybe. But, oh, now they're charging. Okay, now they're charging. Okay, because they wanted the high ground? Is that the reason? They wanted the high ground? That's kind of strange, because now I've just lost all my infantry, and my infantry were actually pretty good units. You know, they're not anything to sort of sniff at. They're actually pretty good. High tier, all over the place. And now I've lost them all, because these guys decided to run away. Oh, well. I guess that's how it goes. I did tell them to pull back, by the way, as well, but obviously that's kind of difficult to do sometimes when you get encircled and everything. Okay, let's just try and do as much damage as I can. Unfortunately, again, look at this. The archers are running away. I mean, I don't really mind if archers run away, but do you see the... What is going on here? You know what? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm actually gonna retreat. I think the AI is purposefully taking casualties when they don't need to. Is that just me? Am I paranoid? Yes, probably, but I think I don't understand. They have the number advantage. Look at this. They have a significant numbers advantage. And let's see what happens if I stay out of the fight. I'm sure they're going to achieve victory, right? Yep, 100%. 100% that is indeed a victory. But did you see the casualty list? The casualty list was full of red text. In other words, the enemy was completely destroying our allies, just purely for the fact that the allies were not deciding to charge in at all. They were telling them to hold back, retreat, move forward, get killed, move back, retreat, and so on. That was it. That's all they decided to do that entire time. I cannot believe it. That is amazing. And not in a good way. Not in a good way, one bit. Wow. Alright, so that kind of teaches me, hey, you know what? We should probably not go in to these kinds of battles when we have very limited control of the main army. That is probably one of the worst examples I've ever seen in Bannerlord, at least. Because obviously Warband, you can kind of excuse the AI for being a little bit dense sometimes, because they did have mods. The modding community came in and they basically went like, hey, we're going to add a whole bunch of additional formations and additional AI options and have the AI act in different ways to try and improve the experience in combat. Because in native, in Warband, what you'd have is just the AI going, oh, I'm just going to charge straight on in. And that's it. That's all they would do most of the time. The Warband AI would literally just go straight, charge, that's it. So that's the reason why Swadian Knights and, oh, what is it now? I keep wanting to say Azarai now. Saranid, there we go. Saranid Mamluks would basically dominate the battlefield. So it would basically be cavalry, they would just win all the time because AI would just charge in. So anyone that has a huge amount of cavalry, they would be the best. However, then mods started to come in, and mods were obviously going to be adding more strategical and tactical depth to the game in many different ways. So they would have formations, they'd have things like shield wall and so on, which we now have as a default in Bannerlord. Obviously you didn't have that in Warband as a default back then either. You would need a mod to be able to do that. And obviously modding was very different back in Warband, because in Warband you'd need a mod that incorporated all of these aspects. You couldn't actually have a separate mod that would do this one thing and then another mod that would do this other thing. That's another change from the two games. They're pretty different in terms of their modding potential. But anyway, as I was saying, it really boggles the mind that Bannerlord AI would be so incredibly ridiculously bad in that particular situation. I'm almost speechless, you know. I just can't formulate into words how shocked I am, actually, because there's a number of mods out there where if the formation AI was not integrated as smoothly as you might potentially want, then the AI in Warband at least would be a little bit indecisive, and the enemy AI would at least just stand at the back of the battlefield, and then when you got close to them, they actually wouldn't even bother attacking you. They would just basically be bugged out. And that was Perisno. Perisno was a little bit rough around the edges in that regard, especially when it came to formation AI. For some reason, that always happened whenever I would try a couple of battles with formation AI enabled. But other mods like Pendor and things like that had no problems with that whatsoever. So it really just depends on which mod you're playing, obviously. But in Bannerlord, I wouldn't have expected anything as silly as that to happen, where the AI is just going in, dying, and then running back. It just doesn't make any sense. I don't get it. I really don't get it. So hopefully that's not going to happen again, because that could have very easily been a loss. If I had not retreated myself and just allowed the AI to continue doing that in an auto-resolve situation, it might have very well ended up in my entire army being murdered, because obviously I lost a huge amount of units in that anyway, but it may have also resulted in the entirety of all the vassals being killed, captured, whatever. and then it would have been even worse. So, wow. I'm very surprised. Anyway, hopefully those Empire units are going to... they have actually formed an army. Fantastic. They are actually going to be attempting to take Iakis back, and I think that's going to be a very easy thing for them to do. Unfortunately, Habyar does have some pretty decent defenses, so it might be a little bit more difficult to take that. But otherwise, that will be it for this episode. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.